It's the battle of the Californian Stratocasters. In today's video, we're comparing a 63 reissue Fender Stratocaster with a modern James Tyler Studio Elite HD. This one is going to be an interesting one, so without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to Squealing Pig Guitars, the home of luxury shred machines here in Nottingham, England. My name is Keightley, and welcome back to another episode. I hope you're having a great day. In today's episode, we have a very weird and wonderful comparison for you. We're taking a vintage classic, the Fender Stratocaster's 60s reissue, and we're comparing it against an ultra-modern version of the Stratocaster. This is the James Tyler Studio Elite HD. It's jam-packed full of modern features like locking tuners, modern hardware, and also has some pretty cool preamp options. But at its bare bones, you can tell it's inspired by the Fender Stratocaster. Both of these guitars are made in California, and they both have pretty high price tags. And really, we're answering today which guitar is best for you. Are you better going for a vintage style reissue, or are you better going for a modern guitar that's going to hold tuning better and have more pickup options and selections? So firstly, let's get out the James Tyler Studio Elite HD and go over the specs. We've left chapters down below. If you'd like to skip through this video, just scroll down the bottom and you should find each chapter that your heart desires. Before we get into the specs, guys, make sure to hit that subscribe button. YouTube tells us that 77% of you guys aren't subscribed to our channel. I don't know why you wouldn't want to be subscribed, so hit the subscribe button. It's free and it means that you won't miss any of our videos. We upload daily, Monday to Friday, bringing you some of the best guitars in the industry. So make sure to hit subscribe, hit the notification bell to be notified when we make a new post, and leave a like rating if you're enjoying this video. But that's my rant for today, so let's get straight into the spec talk. Okay, so guitar number one that we're going to be going over is the James Tyler, and that's in this beautiful grey case. So let's get it orientated correctly and open it up. So in today's comparison, both of these guitars are made in California, which is going to make this increasingly more exciting. They're both custom shop guitars. One's a vintage style, obviously the Fender Strat, and then this is the modern one, the James Tyler. This guitar definitely has quite the outrageous finish, and it's definitely going to divide some opinion. It's called the Arctic Schmear, and it's on a beautiful Studio Elite HD. So without further ado, let's open up the case. So opening it up, we have a G&G case. This is the same case brand that makes cases for Fender Custom Shop. As you can see, you've got a lovely James Tyler logo here. You can see the finish just slightly, but I'll get the guitar out so you can see it a little bit clearer. Okay, so here we are. We have the very outrageous James Tyler Studio Elite HD in Arctic Schmear. And I have to say, this finish is definitely going to divide the comment section. It's a satin finish. It's a kind of mix of blue, white, and grey. And obviously it looks just like snow, hence the choice of song for the intro. On the neck, it's a little bit more white with kind of more of a snowy look. And then on the top, you have that kind of blue coming in there. It looks a little bit like a Diablo that I used to play with when I was younger. Does anyone remember them circus toys that we used to play with? They were really cool. But basically, it's a Studio Elite HD, which is their take on a Stratocaster. And really, this James Tyler is propelling the Strat into the modern era. We have a lot of preamps and mid-range boosts all within the circuitry here. It's kind of taking that Paul Reed Smith, Music Man kind of mentality and putting it on a Strat. We also have locking tuners, and it's definitely a performance-based instrument. However, construction-wise, it's very vintage and similar to the Strat. We have an older body. This is a very similar kind of Strat-style body. And then we have a maple neck, including the fingerboard. Obviously, you won't be able to tell that because of the paint that's over it. I have to say that this paint is quite disorientating when you're playing, so keep that in mind if you're going to play this guitar and it's not just an art guitar. We have 22 stainless steel frets, and we have the thin James Tyler neck carve. To my hand, it feels a little bit like a thin D, more like a Fender USA neck than what they do on the custom shop necks. I think the Fender Stratocaster is more of an oval C, which is a little bit more rounded. But this has a very kind of modern feel to it, but I have to say the fretboard edges are rounded off very, very nicely. It's a very silky smooth neck. We also have glow-in-the-dark side dots, which is really helpful if you're on stage. Of course, we have 4-bolt construction, just like any other Strat. We have the pearloid material for the back guard and the pick guard. Of course, we have a 9-volt battery, as we have a few boosts in this guitar. So this black knob is the volume of the boost, and we basically have a preamp boost, a mid-range boost, and then we have a series parallel switch, and then a 5-way switch, 1 volume, 1 tone. Then we have the humbucker, which is a Shark pickup, and then 2 James Tyler single coils. We also have the truss rod adjustment at the top here, so you can stick an Allen key in there, and it's a lot easier to adjust than a traditional Stratocaster. We have hip shop locking tuners with the brass cogs. These look really, really cool and suit the headstock nicely. And then we have this headstock, which again is definitely going to divide some opinions. It's quite a strange headstock shape, I have to admit. I'm not a massive fan. We have the serial number and the Made in USA stamp at the bottom there, which I do think is pretty cool, but I really are a fan of what they've done at the top of this, where you can see the jumbled up James Tyler letters. That's not really for me. The only way I could describe the feeling of this neck is that it's slightly plasticky, and I don't mean that in a derogatory way. It's just very satin, but it has a slight texture to it. I assume that's because of the glitter and the paint that is used underneath it. Personally, I'm not a massive fan of the way that this guitar looks. I know some people are going to love it, but for me, it's definitely in the more hate camp. But I know how good these guitars can sound and play, so I'm hoping that will redeem it for me. But that is the James Tyler Studio Elite HD, so let's compare it with the traditional Fender Stratocaster. So in comparison to the Fender Stratocaster, this is a very traditional looking instrument, obviously an iconic Strat shape. We have the 3-tone sunburst, and it's really encapsulating everything that a 60s Strat should look like. We've got a rosewood fingerboard, maple neck, and an older body. I've gone over the specs of this guitar plenty of times in previous videos, but I'll just go over it again if you haven't tuned into them videos. We have 3 hand-wound 60s style Strat pickups. We have a flute. We have a 3-pie minted out guard with 5-way switch, 1 volume and 2 tones, a very traditional Strat setup. We have 6 inline vintage tuners, so no locking here, and we have that kind of medium tint over the headstock, and then it's sanded away at the back for comfortable playing experience. This guitar has some really interesting relic marks. I've never seen a team-built heavy relic quite like it. This one has a very soft spot in my heart. I absolutely love this guitar. It plays amazingly and it feels amazing as well. I can't believe we've not sold this one yet, because it is honestly one of my favourite Strats I've played on the channel, but a very cool guitar indeed. The main difference is obviously between this and the James Tyler is that we actually have the same construction other than the rosewood fingerboard. Obviously the main thing is going to be in the pickups, so we have 3 single coil pickups. These are going to be lower output than the James Tyler, and we don't have any preamp boost. It's very traditional. So now that we've looked at the specs of both instruments, let's go into the tone demonstration where we're going to compare both of these guitars. Guys, welcome to the tone comparison of the Fender Custom Shop Stratocaster and the James Tyler Studio HD Elite. In today's episode, I'm going to be playing the same riff on each guitar and then doing an A/B test so you can hear the tone differences. So this is the neck pickup. For today's episode, I'm using my 2-Rock Bloomfield drive. I'm on the lead gain channel to start off with today's episode, and I'm going to play the riff that I started today's episode with, which is Snow. So let's hear the neck position on both guitars. Next position down, let's hear it. Middle position, let's hear it. Middle and bridge. Finally, let's do a loop to play us out. As the James Tyler has a humbucker, let's hear some heavy metal tone. So guys, it's the end of the video. I really hope you've enjoyed checking into this Squealing Pig Guitars video. If you've enjoyed, make sure to leave a like rating, leave your comments in the comment section below, let us know which one you think is the winner of today's episode. And most importantly, if you're not already, make sure to subscribe. It's free and it means you get to join a community of guitar players sharing their love of guitar. But that's enough about subscribing. Let's talk about the winner of today's episode. I'm sure you guys have already kind of anticipated this probably from the way I was playing and kind of the way that my playing sound, but I much preferred the Fender Stratocaster, and that's definitely the winner of today's episode. But guys, remember that is just my personal opinion, what works with my playing style. I really did enjoy playing this Studio Elite HD. I think I'm still warming to James Tyler instruments a little bit. I've only played two. We've actually done this comparison video about a year and a half ago, and that was with a pink Studio Elite, and I remember that being very close indeed. I actually think that James Tyler might have won that comparison. For me, this 63 just plays amazingly and it really gels well to my hand. For me, this James Tyler played and sounded incredible, and I think that the preamp options and all that stuff is really, really useful. In my opinion, you just can't beat the classic feel of a Stratocaster, and in terms of feel, I much preferred the way that this neck played, the lighter body weight, and the way that it just felt on my body. Whereas this neck shape is a little bit more angular and the strings were a little bit lower down, which was, although could be more comfortable for most players, for me, I do like a little bit of a higher action, especially on Strats. So for me, for a Strat style guitar, I like that vintage struggle. I like fighting with my Stratocasters. I feel like it gets that bluesy tone a little bit better. This one for me doesn't feel like a Strat. It feels like a modern Ibanez, kind of like an AZ type guitar. It's going to be a great shred guitar, and I thought it sounded incredible on the heavy metal sections. The mid-range boost really gives this guitar a league of its own. Really, I think this comparison was a little bit unfair to the James Tyler, as this isn't a Strat. It looks potentially like a Strat because of the single coils, but it's much more than that. This is really a Swiss Army knife that will be able to do anything that you want. Strat tones, heavy metal tones, it really is a high level rock axe. Whereas the Strat is very much the traditional Swiss Army knife. It's a little bit more limited, but it does everything very, very nice. So in my opinion, the Stratocaster is the winner today. I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10, which I've given it a few times as I featured it on the channel. I swear this will be the last time I feature this Strat on the channel, I swear. But the James Tyler is going to get an 8 out of 10 today. I thought it was a really cool guitar. I'm not a massive fan of the paint job, but I do think the model itself is an incredible model, and I wouldn't sleep on a James Tyler. Make sure to check them out. They're very interesting instruments. But as always, guys, thank you so much for tuning into the Squealing Pig Guitars channel. I really hope you've enjoyed. Make sure to like, leave a comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you again tomorrow for another episode. But until then, keep rocking, guys. I'll see you soon.